Good morning from the lookout. It's a little bit kind of foggy this morning and misty and moist. The hummingbirds are still alive and active. They're at it. So that's a good thing. Hey, I wanted to start with this verse this morning. By the way, I saw that we have a few new subscribers. Welcome. Thanks for joining us on this journey, walking through the Bible in a year, taking the Bible one day at a time over the next 365 days. Now we're on day 13. So we've started the journey and we're making our way. Thanks for joining us along the way. And if you know of other people that would benefit from this, this is about encountering God and His Word. That's our point. That's our goal. So Isaiah 50, verse 10, the second part says, "If you're walking in darkness without a ray of light, trust in the Lord and rely on your God." If you're walking in darkness, have you ever walked in pitch black, can't see anything, no light? In that case, trust in the Lord and rely on your God. Sometimes we feel like that in life, don't we? And we need Him. All right, so today we're in Genesis 28 and 29. And today Isaac sends Jacob back to his family to find a wife. And one night on the journey, so Jacob was walking, and on the journey, Jacob finds a stone for a pillow and falls asleep. So if you think you have a bad pillow, go out and grab a stone. Try that one. Anyway, Jacob is laying his head on a stone. Okay, well, and he has this vision of a stairway extended from heaven to earth, or from earth to heaven, with the angels of God going up and down the stairs. At the top of the stairway stood the Lord. The Lord confirms the covenant He made with Abraham, and then with Isaac, and now with Jacob, and He adds this additional promise. What's more, I am with you, and I will protect you wherever you go. One day I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have finished giving you everything I have promised you. Wow, that's an amazing promise. And Jacob wakes up and says, surely the Lord is in this place, and I wasn't even aware of it. Wherever you are today, wherever you're watching this video, the Lord is in this place. The Lord is with you. Whether you're aware of it or not, God is with you. He is Emmanuel, God with us. Okay, so Jacob responds. Now look how Jacob responds to God's promises. Here's the God of the universe making these promises to Jacob. And here's how he responds. If God does this, then I'll do that. If God is with me, then I'll come back and worship Him. If God does this, then I'll do that. We have it. Isn't that amazing? If God meets my expectations, if God does the things that I want, then I'll follow Him. And how often do we make those vows, those promises to God, and then God keeps His part and we forget? So, vows are important. If you make a promise to God, keep your promise to God. And the other part is, God is there. God is there. And so, I'm speechless. Lower your expectations. In other words, not lower your expectations of God, but stop just living by expectations and say, God, I trust you. I trust you. Where we get tripped up is we have all these expectations of what the Christian life or following Jesus should be like, or how they should change somebody else's life, or how this should happen or that should happen. And if it doesn't happen, where's God? Instead of that, follow Jesus. Trust Him. He is your light, even in the dark. All right? Okay. So Jacob goes on to his Uncle Laban and begins a long struggle over wives and children and flocks. So here's the key. He goes with the promise of God, but that does not exempt him from the struggles of life. Did you get that? He goes with the promise of God. He knows God is going with him, but that does not exempt him from struggles. So keep going, keep trying, Keep walking. Keep listening. Keep relying on God's light. In Matthew chapter 9, verses 18 to 38. Now, we're talking about Jesus now. Jesus continues showing his compassion for individuals as he heals a woman who took a huge risk. She's unclean. She has an issue of blood. She's unclean. She takes a huge risk and pushes through the crowd and says, if I can just touch his garment, if I can just touch his robe, just the fringe of his robe, I'll be healed. And he shows compassion on her and heals her. Then he went to the home of a religious leader and brought his daughter back to life. She was dead. He brought her back to life. Then 2 blind men would not give up following after Jesus until he healed them. Then a demon-possessed man is brought to Jesus, who casts out the demon, and the man is able to speak. The crowds are amazed. The religious know-it-alls accuse Jesus of being empowered by Satan. They missed it. Now, again, I said this a day or two ago. What was Jesus like as he's healing people, individuals, people like you and me? Not the superstars, the people, just ordinary, plain people like you and me. I think it brought him great joy to restore health to them, to restore wholeness to them. I think it brought Jesus great joy. In fact, listen to this. When this is Matthew continuing on, and these are Jesus' words. When Jesus saw the crowds, he had compassion on them because they were confused and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd. He said to his disciples, the harvest is great, but the workers are few. So pray to the Lord who is in charge of the harvest. Ask him to send more workers into his fields. Would you be a worker today? Would you be one that would be willing to go out into the field and just do what the master of the harvest says to do? We don't even have to make it up. As the Lord gives you guidance, says, hey, go speak to that person and encourage them. Oh, God, I couldn't do that. Yes, you can. Say, Lord, I can do it with your help, but I'm really afraid. Would you help me? And let's have courage today to be at work in the master's fields. The harvest is great, Jesus said, but the workers are few. So pray to the Lord who is in charge of the harvest. Ask him to send more workers into his fields. Let's be about the master's business. Amen. Now, from Psalm chapter 11, starting with verse 3, the foundations of law and order have collapsed. What can the righteous do? But the Lord is in his holy temple. The Lord still rules from heaven. He watches everyone closely, examining every person on earth. The Lord examines both the righteous and the wicked. He hates those who love violence. That really convicted me when I was a teenager. He will rain down blazing coals and burning sulfur on the wicked, punishing them with scorching winds. For the righteous Lord loves justice. The virtuous will see his face. One of the things that we can always do, and we know that we're working for the Lord, work for justice. Seek justice. Okay? Now, I don't mean like revenge kind of justice, but seek justice for people. Help people as they need help. Proverbs chapter 3, continuing on in this amazing chapter of Proverbs. My child, don't reject the Lord's discipline, and don't be upset when he corrects you. For the Lord corrects those he loves, just as a father corrects a child in whom he delights. It's not my favorite thing to be corrected. At this point in life, I like to be right. How about you? I like to be right. I like to do things right. And I really don't much like to be corrected. But I need to be willing for God to correct me and say, okay, you're moving in this direction. Now, do it this way or try it that way. I need to listen and be willing for God to correct me today, this day. May you be blessed. May God love you and may you experience his love on this day. God bless you.